Have you ever questioned why some people seem to feel an immediate aversion toward you, even when there's no apparent reason? It's as if, no matter what you do, there's always someone looking at you with disdain or antipathy. The question of why some people simply hate us presents a mystery that isn't always rooted in our actions or words. Sometimes, the reasons behind this hatred are deeply embedded in psychological complexities, such as envy or misunderstandings. Understanding this phenomenon isn't just a matter of curiosity. It's essential for navigating the complex social dynamics we face every day. In this special video, we will explore the 9 reasons why people can develop intense negative feelings toward us. Before we dive in, I want to thank you for the incredible support you've been giving me. It's a pleasure for me to create these videos, and even more so, to receive your love-filled comments. I read all of them. If this is your first time on the channel, click the like button and activate the notification bell so YouTube can recommend this video to more people like you. Now let's begin this transformative journey together. Are you ready? 1. Envy and jealousy. One of the most common and profound reasons someone may develop feelings of aversion toward you is envy or jealousy. These corrosive emotions act like real poisons in interpersonal relationships, capable of turning admiration into repulsion and respect into resentment. Envy and jealousy often arise when someone sees something in you that they wish they had but believe they can't attain. This feeling can be triggered by various factors, from your success in your professional field and personal achievements to aspects of your personality or lifestyle. In many cases, envy and jealousy reflect a person's internal dissatisfaction with their own life. Instead of finding inspiration in your achievements or feeling happy for your success, they see your qualities and accomplishments as a mirror reflecting their own shortcomings or lack of luck. This emotion can evolve into deep resentment, leading them to wish for your failure or downfall in an attempt to ease their own pain or dissatisfaction. The most destructive aspect of envy and jealousy is that they can drive envious or jealous people to resort to gossip, slander, or even sabotage to undermine your efforts and achievements. They may try to discredit your work or spread falsehoods about your character, all in the hope of knocking you off the pedestal where, in their minds, you stand. It's crucial to recognize that envy and jealousy are issues of the person feeling them, not yours. Although it's easy to internalize the hate and start questioning or blaming yourself, it's important to remember that you're not responsible for another person's feelings of inferiority or dissatisfaction. Your achievements and qualities should not be diminished because someone is incapable of dealing with their own internal issues. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't worry about things that are beyond your control." The feelings of envy and jealousy from others are clearly something beyond your control, and Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control, your own actions, thoughts, and reactions. Understanding that envy and jealousy are often at the root of the hatred some people feel toward you can help you navigate these complicated interactions. Knowing how to deal with these negative emotions in a mature and passive way, without letting them affect you, is a vital skill for maintaining your inner peace and continuing on your path of personal and professional growth. 2. Misunderstandings and ineffective communication. Even small or seemingly insignificant misunderstandings can fuel deep and long-lasting resentments. At the core of these misunderstandings, there are often misinterpretations or a lack of clarity in the way we express ourselves or interpret the words of others. Misunderstandings arise when there is a discrepancy between the intention of a message and the way it is perceived. A misplaced word, a misinterpreted tone of voice, or even a facial expression can be enough to create a false impression. These small communication failures can lead to incorrect beliefs, about someone's intentions or attitudes, causing them to think you are disrespectful, indifferent, or even hostile. On the other hand, ineffective communication significantly contributes to the building of emotional barriers and misunderstandings. This can happen when we fail to express our thoughts and feelings clearly, leaving room for mistaken interpretations. In other cases, the inability to practice active listening and truly understand the other person's perspective can lead to wrong assumptions and judgments. These scenarios become fertile ground for the development of negative feelings. When people feel misunderstood or believe they have been misinterpreted, they may begin to develop aversion based on these failed communication experiences. What began as a small misunderstanding can grow and transform into hostility, often disconnected from the reality of the situation or the relationship itself. Recognizing the importance of misunderstandings and ineffective communication as reasons for the emergence of negative feelings is crucial to avoiding unjustified hatred. It is essential to strive for clear, open, and honest communication in all interactions. Additionally, it's important to give people the benefit of the doubt and seek clarification when uncertainty arises. By doing so, unnecessary resentments can be avoided, and interpersonal relationships can be maintained on a healthier and more positive foundation. 3. Differences in fundamental values and beliefs. We live in a diverse world where each person is shaped by a unique set of values and beliefs that guide their perceptions, decisions, and behaviors. When these values come into conflict with those of another person, it can be the starting point for disagreements and eventually hatred. Differences in values can range from political and religious views to opinions on work ethics and lifestyles. When someone views their values as absolutely correct or superior, anyone with a different set of beliefs may be seen as an adversary or a threat. This us versus them mentality is a common source of interpersonal conflict and can quickly turn disagreement into contempt. Moreover, when a person's beliefs are deeply ingrained, any challenge to these beliefs is often perceived as a personal attack, triggering an intense defensive response and resulting in hostility toward the person who represents that perceived threat. In situations like this, the conflict is not just about divergent opinions, it becomes a battle between identities and worldviews. These differences can also lead to stereotypes and snap judgments. When people don't make an effort to understand the other's perspective and resort to generalizations, they create barriers that hinder empathy and mutual understanding. These judgments can turn into hatred, especially when fueled by unrecognized fears or prejudices. In Stoic philosophy, the idea is emphasized that our personal beliefs and values are the result of our individual experiences and perceptions. Epictetus, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, would remind us that each of us is the product of our own education and environment. In this sense, it's natural for people to have different sets of values and beliefs. Fostering open dialogue, tolerance, and respect for differences not only helps prevent hatred, but also enriches our own experiences and understanding of the world. Accepting that not everyone will share our perspectives and that this is okay is a crucial step toward harmonious coexistence in a pluralistic society. The influence of rumors and gossip. Another significant factor that often leads to the development of feelings of hatred is the influence of rumors and gossip spread by third parties. These whispers, often false or exaggerated, and motivated by malice or simply the desire to create intrigue, can be extremely harmful. They have the power to unfairly and often irreversibly shape people's perceptions of you. Rumors and gossip act like a virus in social relationships, spreading quickly and infecting people's opinions before you even have the chance to present your true story. Once a rumor starts circulating, it can take on a life of its own, distorting reality and creating a false image of who you are. This is particularly destructive when the rumors involve negative or sensitive aspects of your life or personality. The problem with rumors is that even when they lack any basis, they can be incredibly convincing. People tend to believe what they hear, especially if the rumor confirms their own suspicions or prejudices. Additionally, the forbidden or sensational nature of a rumor makes it more appealing and, therefore, more likely to be spread. The spread of false or misleading information creates a toxic environment where you are judged and condemned without evidence or justice. The consequences can range from social isolation and loss of friendships to more serious impacts on your professional and personal life. The hatred generated by rumors can be one of the hardest to combat, as you are fighting against a fabricated image rather than reality. It's essential to be aware of the powerful influence that rumors can have in shaping hatred toward you. While it can be challenging, it's important to try to dismantle these rumors with the truth and maintain your integrity, regardless of the falsehoods being spread. Remember that your authenticity and honesty are your best tools against the poison of rumors. Trusting in your truth and maintaining transparency in your interactions can help disprove the lies and rebuild your image in the eyes of others. In the long run, truth and integrity will prevail over falsehoods and malice. 5. Personal insecurities and projection. This is a complex and often overlooked reality, yet it plays a crucial role in the dynamics of interpersonal hatred. When personal insecurities are not faced and overcome, they can transform into envy, resentment, and eventually hatred toward those who seem not to share the same weaknesses or flaws. Fears and insecurities can stem from various sources, such as past experiences, perceived failures, or social comparisons. As Seneca said, when someone feels insecure, they may unconsciously project those feelings onto others, especially onto those who seem to represent the opposite of their own insecurities. For example, if someone feels insecure about their career, they might develop resentment toward a colleague who is succeeding and advancing professionally. This projection of insecurities acts as a psychological defense mechanism, an attempt to cope with internal feelings of inadequacy. Rather than confronting and working through their own insecurities, it becomes easier for some people to direct their frustration and negativity toward others. This process can give rise to feelings of hatred that are unjustified and unconnected to any real fault or wrongdoing on your part. In Stoicism, the philosophy teaches us to look inward and focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and emotions. Stoic practices, such as self-reflection and rational detachment, encourage us to examine our own insecurities instead of projecting them onto others. Being aware that personal insecurities often drive the hatred of others can help you handle these situations with empathy and patience. It also underscores the importance of working on your own emotional health and stability so you don't fall into the same trap of projecting insecurities onto those around you. 6. The impact of narcissism and self-centeredness. Narcissism and self-centeredness can also be significant drivers of hatred in interpersonal relationships. Narcissistic individuals, who are primarily focused on themselves and their own needs, often react with extreme hostility when they feel that someone challenges their ego or doesn't validate their self-image. They demand constant admiration and validation from others and become angry or resentful when this is not provided. Because narcissists have an inflated sense of their own importance and entitlement, they tend to perceive any form of disagreement or criticism as a personal attack. This makes them more likely to hold grudges and develop feelings of hatred toward those who refuse to feed their ego. They may also lash out against people who are successful or independent, as they see these qualities as a threat to their own sense of superiority. Being on the receiving end of this narcissistic hatred can be deeply unsettling, especially because it often feels unjustified. You may find yourself targeted for simply being yourself or standing up for your own beliefs. In these situations, it's important to recognize that the issue lies not with you, but with the other person's distorted sense of self-worth and their inability to deal with criticism or rejection. Dealing with narcissistic individuals requires maintaining firm boundaries and not allowing yourself to be manipulated by their need for control and admiration. By refusing to feed into their ego-driven behavior, you can protect yourself from becoming entangled in their cycle of resentment and hatred. 7. The power of social comparison. Social comparison is a natural part of human behavior. We constantly measure ourselves against others, using these comparisons to evaluate our own success, abilities, and worth. However, when social comparison turns toxic, it can lead to feelings of inferiority, resentment, and ultimately hatred toward those who are perceived as better or more successful. When people compare themselves to you and feel that they fall short, they may begin to resent you for your perceived advantages. This can happen in any area of life, from professional success and financial stability to physical appearance and social popularity. The more they feel inferior, the more likely they are to develop negative feelings toward you, even if you have done nothing to provoke these emotions. Toxic social comparison often leads to a distorted view of reality, where the person fixates on your strengths and their own weaknesses rather than seeing the full picture. This one-sided perspective fuels feelings of envy and resentment as they focus only on what you have that they believe they lack. Recognizing the role of social comparison in the development of hatred is important for maintaining your own emotional balance. It also allows you to approach these situations with compassion, understanding that the other person's resentment may stem from their own insecurities and struggles with self-worth. 8. Fear of rejection or abandonment. Fear of rejection or abandonment can also be a powerful motivator behind feelings of hatred. People who struggle with low self-esteem or who have experienced emotional trauma may develop deep-seated fears that others will reject or abandon them. These fears can lead to preemptive hostility, where they push others away, or develop feelings of resentment in an attempt to protect themselves from the pain of rejection. In some cases, this fear of rejection is triggered by perceived signs that someone is distancing themselves or losing interest in the relationship. Even small changes in behavior, such as a lack of communication or decreased attention, can be enough to ignite these fears and result in feelings of anger or resentment. The hatred that arises from fear of rejection is often irrational and disproportionate to the situation. The person may lash out in an attempt to regain control or to protect themselves from the emotional pain they anticipate. Unfortunately, this behavior often leads to the very outcome they fear, as their hostility drives others away and reinforces their feelings of rejection. Understanding the role of fear in the development of hatred can help you approach these situations with empathy and patience. By recognizing the other person's vulnerability, you can avoid taking their hostility personally and instead focus on maintaining healthy boundaries and clear communication. 9. The influence of group dynamics and peer pressure. Finally, group dynamics and peer pressure can play a significant role in the development of hatred. In social groups, people often conform to the attitudes and behaviors of those around them, even if they don't fully agree with those views. This can lead to the development of group-based hatred, where individuals adopt negative feelings towards someone because it is the dominant sentiment within the group. Group dynamics can be particularly powerful in shaping perceptions and behaviors as people seek to fit in and be accepted by their peers. In these situations, hatred is not necessarily based on personal experiences or genuine feelings, but rather on the need to align with the group. This type of hatred is often shallow and can be easily influenced by changes in the group's attitudes or the individual's personal experiences. Recognizing the role of group dynamics in the development of hatred can help you avoid being affected by these external pressures. By maintaining your own values and beliefs, you can resist the influence of peer pressure and stay true to yourself, even in the face of group-based hostility. In conclusion, understanding the reasons why people may hate us is an important step toward maintaining our own emotional health and resilience. By recognizing the psychological and social factors that contribute to these negative feelings, we can approach these situations with greater empathy and patience, while also protecting ourselves from being affected by others' hostility.